recently lost a custodian member in our building. He passed away. His wife now has the COVID-19. So it's really hit home directly for me personally. So it's been really tough. It's been tough to deal with.
And I've lost someone that I've known for many years every day since this happens, if not 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah, and because a lot of people in the martial arts community, because we're so brothers and sisters and people who are elderly and all over, we're losing if it's not in that type of family. There's other, so someone I've known is either 1 or 2. There's been up to 4 deaths in a day that I've lost someone because of this virus, or a contributing factor because of this virus. Yeah.
It's been tough. I mean, if you don't know somebody, you're gonna probably know somebody who's perished from the coronavirus.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you for coming on our video chat for Bridges Live, and we do this, and I like to have people on. Thanks, Russ, for coming on. You've been on before, but give people just a little bit of a backdrop because we're gonna push this out later. So, Russ, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Russ Williams. I'm a transition coach that empowers individuals in their transitional journey. I'm known for helping our student athletes in their transitional journey to careers. I'm an author of the book Transition Game Plan, Simple Steps to Achieving Personal Success.
Let me see that book. I know you got it nearby. Where's that book?
I do. You're right. There you go. Here's the book. Always promoting Dr. Paul. So I have that. I'm also the host of a show called Transition Tuesdays, seen live on Facebook Live every Tuesday. Check that out. I'm also involved with a podcast called The Russ and Kayla's Experience. It's a podcast we just started with 8 episodes in. It's a self-improvement podcast. Gonna have Dr. Paul on there one day. I know that, so can't wait to have you on there, Dr. Paul. I'm doing that. I have a sports background. I played high school basketball at Monsignor Clancy High School here in Queens. I'm a Hall of Fame member. In basketball. Also played Division I basketball at Manhattan College. Hall of Fame member there as well. Just trying to. That sums me up in a nutshell, there, Doc.
So I too write books too. So I want to shamelessly promote. I just pushed out 2 new books. This would be my actually 7th book. This is the Emotional Reaction Training Manual of the Heart. So here's the thing when we write, and I want you to join. I actually have a Facebook thing that I'm putting on where I want to collaborate a story with all writers. So as many people we have, everyone gets a little section, and I'm thinking of just like 200 to 250 words, and the whole story, we'll publish the whole story. So,
wow.
So I'll start it off, and then the next person, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, whoever goes, and so you just write the next piece, and whatever you want to write, so it doesn't have to be so like, it seems like it's going to be a horror thing or a love thing. You just write your piece, and that's just how it's going to go.
That sounds good. I'd love to be a part of that process. If you invite me, am I invited to that, Doc?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure, because it's on my Facebook page. It says anyone who wants to contribute to the storyline, just put I will, and then once I collect all the people, then that's how we're going to do it. We're going to write the book live. So the story is just going to be on the thing, and then we'll push it out. It's going to be awesome.
Wow, that sounds great.
So, when transitioning, this season, being a sports-minded person as yourself, and I am, and blah, 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 but this has been epic. I mean, there's seniors out there that you could talk to, and juniors, and people that have been. I asked my son, I said, when he hurt himself in his senior year, we talked about this before, and I asked him, I said, would you rather have a season to end like this, or a season to end as an injury? He goes, I would rather have the season to end like this, because the injury is something he felt like he could, he had some control over. And I'm like, right. Wow, for me, I think this would be a season killer for me, because, I was going to be the all-time scorer in my high school. Well, that's done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of numbers. There's just, do we throw this year out? I mean, how do we do this?
Yeah, that's something to talk about. I'm thinking about what you just said there, Doc. You talked about, this year kind of like a season, like ending season. Like for my daughter, she's not an athlete, but she's a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, now she's faced with the situation of no prom. She's faced with the situation of no graduation.
Right.
She's going on to go to college. She's going to be going to LSU in the fall when they eventually start.
There she goes. She's a Tiger.
Yeah, LSU Tiger, yeah. But to answer your question, sports-wise, yeah, I mean, it's really I think it would be very difficult, to because this is something out of the control of the athlete. That's something that you can prepare for or envision. So I would imagine mentally it would be tough on those student athletes, especially those student athletes who play, let's say, like the winter sports.
Yeah.
The seasons are done. Whereas those spring sports, they might have an opportunity through the NCAA to come back and play again when they resume. So, me playing, I played a fall sport or a winter sport. So, it would be tough on my psyche knowing that, it had to end like that. You didn't have an opportunity to play in your conference tournament. You didn't have the opportunity to maybe go to the NCAA or the NIT tournament, playing if you're playing basketball.
Right.
So I would imagine that's very difficult mentally to deal with.
And I think, and I have thought, I agree, because, every morning I do a 7 a.m. called The Healthy Mind, and I talk about, like this morning, this week was the emotional mind, last week was the wise mind, the week before that was the rational mind, and putting how it affects the body. And you're right, emotionally, these kids are broken. Or even hell, you know what? I know we're Knicks fans, but this is the best Knicks season we had in years.
That's right. No results, no score,
And that's sad to say because this is the greatest. People are like, are you sad? I'm like, hell, this is a great Knicks season. The seasons we've had for 20 plus years. I take this one over any of them.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And and when I guess when the NBA does resume, we're gonna see where the Knicks and everybody else stands. Are they gonna take it from like maybe a couple of games and then maybe go into playoffs or go straight into playoffs? And as we know, as Knicks fans, if they go straight into playoffs, we will not be participating in those playoffs this year.
Right. I think I don't think they're going to continue. I don't think we're coming back this year. I don't think sports is coming back this year.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't, because here's the thing. Let's look at what we know as what the corona is. Right? We need to have enough testing.
Yeah.
And we need to have a vaccine. Somehow, we need to say everyone's okay. Because even if X amount of people get it, we don't know if they can get it again. We don't know. We know some viruses you can't get it again, but we don't know about this virus. We also don't know if this can mutate again, because we know viruses mutate. So we're so skeptical of what could happen. I'm not sure if we throw ourselves back into arena sports, this sports and that sports, does this trigger another what? So until we figure out those four things, enough vaccines, where the virus, testing, what the virus does, I don't see how we can continue to do. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, well, I noticed that the NBA, they're very proactive in what they do, especially that commissioner there, Commissioner Silver.
Yeah.
I know they're talking about maybe having playing games minus the fans. So kind of have like a complex type of deal. I know baseball is looking at that as well. They're looking about having like, one place, one area, no fans, see what we get. But sometimes your best move is not to make a move. Right. So, so I think, maybe these sports are really looking at seeing what the next person is going to do, who's going to be the first person to maybe come back. But like you said, without those four ingredients, it'd be tough to come back. You got to have the testing. You got to have the vaccine. and you got to make sure people are safe in these areas.
And the way that, you know what, I'm going to tease basketball, and because we come from old school basketball, playing down at Rucker Park, where we bump and grind, the house. The way they play basketball now, they stand 6 feet from each other anyway.
I know, right? It should be an issue now.
Yeah, because there's no hand checking. Right, there's no hand checking anyone. You can't beat someone up in the so I've been wanting.
This is true. Yeah. This is definitely true. So true.
So how is the podcast going? Tell me about that. And I know you started it because it's about it's making a difference, and that's what you want to do. That's what we're all trying to do. And so tell me about that concept of this podcast.
No, I appreciate that, Doc. Yeah, the concept is we help out with self-improvement. Mm-hmm. We have guests on there. We're just talking about bettering each other. I have my co-partner, Kayla Nice. She's on there giving out information. She's great at giving out the information, giving people motivational tips to go on. My job is I give out game plan steps to help people out. I have my executive producer, Malik Beans. He's there piecing everything together. We just having conversation. We have great guests. We just recently had a guest on a gentleman who served time in jail, but now he's a award-winning actor, Mr. Charles D. Clark. So we're just giving the information out to the people. We're giving our experiences and hoping people share their experiences with us. And that makes up the Russ and Kayla Nice experience.
We've talked about your game plan before, but let's talk about that book. Let's talk about that game plan and what that book is doing, what it's set up for. Because it's what's sad is a lot of people don't read. A lot of black people don't read. Right? So if they can catch this video clip, and we'll push this video clip out, but what is this book going to help them with this transition?
Well, the book helps you out in terms of the transition that you might be going through. Any different type of transition, transitioning from being unemployment to being employed and vice versa, especially in these time and days, which we're living in now. What I do and what my book does, it provides simple game plan steps, and I call it my GPSs.
Nice.
I lead you, I help you out in those different, I spell out in the book 11 different transitions in which I provide you game plan steps in helping you with your transition. So all the game plan steps in the book, transition game plan, all the game plan steps in there, it really helps you out, and you can just take these game plan steps and apply it to your transitional life and your transitional journey.
And this time we're going to, with this virus, if we have not, and I know other people have said it, I know people have mentioned it, I know people have written about it, we're going to transition from this virus. We're going to be something different from this virus. Whatever it was before, whatever your life was, your job was, your life was, your kids, your family, all of it, whatever it was, this is new. Will be different. And this is an opportunity. This is huge. This could tell someone to be like, you know what? I never liked that job I was going to, and I'm never going back. Obviously, I don't even miss it. I'm so glad I'm able to spend time with my loved ones. I'm glad I've got to make sure I do this more. So what is some of that GPS you think people need to latch onto so they can, when this all goes back to our new normal, what should they, it's almost like, I hate to think what should they do, but what could they do where it's going to be, you know what, I'm going to take this step and now this is my action.
Yeah, I think the first GPS would be develop a game plan. You got to
develop that game plan. We could do, and we lost you a little bit. You said develop the game plan.
Okay. Yep, develop a game plan. You're going to need that course of action that you're going to have to take in this process. You're going to have to take these steps. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in this process? So that's the first one. The second thing is to, get yourself a support team. I'm big in teams. I'm big in support. You have to get yourself a support team going forward because, again, everything is going to be new than what we learned, in the past. Everything is new. You have to get yourself at support group.
You froze. Russ froze just a little bit. We're gonna wait till. Hold on. You froze just a little bit. You said after you get yourself a group, and then next.
Yeah, get yourself a group. You have to get that support team, that group. You have to get those people, maybe 3 to 4 people who are gonna roll with you. Who's gonna be a part of Team Russ to get you to your overall goal, which is your game plan. So you have to do that. I think the third GPS is always keeping the faith. You have to keep the faith in these times. You have to believe in something. You have to you have to really be strong in faith. This situation that we're going through really pushes your faith, but you have to keep the faith because everything is going to get better.
It does.
You gotta believe that.
It will.
You gotta believe that.
It will. We're not staying here, and whatever it is. And here's the thing: I whenever this gets out of this phase we're in, because it's a phase system, right? Whatever phase this is, whatever it is, I don't want to be back in a restaurant and hear someone say, it's not like it used to be. We're done with that. Don't say that anymore. Just say it's, because whatever it was, it's gone. What is it going to be now for you? This restaurant is different. It's not like it used to be. Well, move on. Accept what this restaurant is now. Well, things have changed. Yeah, things change all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people say those words, and I think those are stuck words. Those words are hurtful, and they use them so easily, and they don't know that it's regressing their mental capacity to move forward.
Yeah, I agree with you too, Doc. And I just was thinking about what you're saying, and another GPS I really want to give is I want to go back to. You remember that movie, Moneyball with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had a famous line in there. He says, "Either you adapt or you die." So it's a matter of the process now is you have to adapt now to this new normal. And if you don't adapt to it, you will die.
You will die.
So you have to adapt and die. That's the bottom line. Because like you said, things are going to be totally different. Yeah, well, heck, what I mean? Dr. Paul, what happens is now the handshake is going to probably be a thing of the past. The brother dap, that's going to be a thing of the past.
Right.
We have to adapt. We have to adapt to our new normal now in order to be successful going forward.
But even when we adapt and we go to a new normal, I just don't want us to separate us. Mm-hmm. People feel so excluded already emotionally from themselves and from other people. And this is why you've written your book, The Transitional Coach, because people don't know how to move from one space to the next space, or the next one phase to the next phase. And everything is progressively steps to moving in life, right? And this is what we try to teach our young kids. Move in life, move forward. We're not moving away from something, we're moving forward to something. There's a difference. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That it definitely much is a difference. A lot of times, people say, this stuff is happening to me. No, these things are happening for you.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Oh, man. I'm so glad we were able to come on here. Russ, so how can people catch on the podcast and the Facebook Live channel and get your book and all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. I would love people to follow me on R Will Transitions with an S. You can follow me on Instagram. Also, you can friend me on Facebook at Russ Williams. You can reach me there. If you want the book, Transition Game Plan. If you want the book, Transition Game Plan, it's available on Amazon, Amazon.com. You can get it there. Or if you want to have a signed, autographed copy, I can do that for you. Just send me an email at rwilltransitions@gmail.com. Would love to get that information out to each and everybody out there who wants information on the book. And again, the Russ and Kayla Needs Experience. You can find that on Spotify. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on major podcast platforms out there. Would love for people to go on there and take a look at it, subscribe to it, like it, share it with your loved ones. we're getting that information out. We're sharing our experiences. We want to know about your experiences. And, we're just here to help. We're just here to support people in their journeys.
We got to support each other. We need to support each other. We only do this with each other. And we're not talking about asking for tons of money or tons of support, whether it be your podcast, my podcast, whether channels. We can, there's enough, we are, even as black people, as cultures of people of life in general, we can support each other to lift each other up. We don't have to put someone down so someone else can move forward. And I hope everyone supports you. And I love our conversations. I so adore you immensely. So thank you so much, Russ. And I'm glad you're safe.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you're healthy. I'm glad you're happy. And I want everyone to be happy, healthy, and safe and blessed.
I appreciate it. Hey, Doc, also, man, before you run, I want to talk to you because I know you're an avid sports fan.
Yeah,
I know that.
I am.
And, now we're down we're in our houses now. There's no live sports coming on. But what's going on, and I want to talk to you a little bit about, was that 30 for 30 documentary on the Bulls, The Last Dance. Are you going to be watching this? I know you're a Knicks fan. I know it's going to be tough watching this.
It's going to be.
Because, you despise Michael Jordan like I do.
I'm going to watch it because it's the era, right? It's you know what? Beyond, I hate Michael Jordan. Never liked the damn Bulls. The whole system of the triangle, I thought it was a piece of crap. It ruined basketball. But I'm going to watch it because I love the game, and that it was a game changer. What he was able to do, most as athletes, we can watch it, but then we what was it like inside that locker room? What was it like inside that practice? I've heard scuttlebutt. I've heard players talk about it when they played, the people that played with him. He was a beast. It was knuckle up time in the locker room. Yeah. It was no joke. I mean, people think Michael would roll up or he'd be like,
That's right.
He had it. And people, no matter what size they are, he was ready to fight to win. And that's something people just don't get up here.
Yeah, that's true. At all costs, he was a guy at all costs. I share a couple of stories that I have about Michael Jordan. The first one is I had the opportunity of meeting Michael Jordan after he was done in his career. When I used to work for a company called Johnson's, we did the rings for the Jordan Classic. And I had an opportunity, myself and my business partner, Chris Williams, we had an opportunity to actually meet Michael Jordan. So the great experience was when we first met him, we came up ahead of time. And, I extended my hand to shake his hand to him, and he just gave me the brother dap, and he just gave me brought me in close. You can't do that now during social distancing, but then you could. So he brought me in. I was like, wow, this is a great experience. Here's a guy, this God almost, giving me the brother dap, So I got an opportunity to meet him. Very delightful guy. Now, in terms of his playing days, there's notorious stories about Michael Jordan in which he got involved with teammates and other opposing teams. There's a great story about, and I hope they share this on the show. I remember when Horace Grant played with the Chicago Bulls during the heyday. Yeah. Right? Horace Grant.
They had a fight.
They're flying on the airplane and they're having dinner. So Horace Grant's about to dive into his meal. Next thing you know, Michael Jordan comes from behind, takes the food away from him. He says, man, you played terrible tonight. You don't deserve to eat.
Yeah.
And Horace Grant did not eat that night either. So, he was notorious for that. He was notorious for riding his teammates. He was notorious. He was like, I'm going to win at any cost. And if it has to sacrifice my teammates or you not liking me, that was the competitive will he did, and you won't find players of the day with that spirit, that competitive spirit. No. The last person was maybe Kobe Bryant, maybe. But other than that, you're not going to find that competitive spirit out of this generation of athletes. You're not going to find it. He was the last one to have that in his DNA. You're not going to find that again. So I'm really interested in checking out the Last Dance in the 10 installments. Even though like yourself, Doc, I'm a Knicks fan as well, so it's been tough to watch it. But sometimes you just got to own up to greatness and get a chance to take a look at it and get a better perspective on who that man was. So we ain't doing nothing anyway. So
no, wait. Have you ever thought about you putting together your 30 for 30?
You know what? I have an interesting story that I'm gonna tell. It's not gonna be a 30 for 30. It's gonna be actually another book.
But
if I had to do a 30 for 30, it's funny you say that, Dr. Paul, because I wrote down a couple of things, a couple of projects that could create a 30 for 30.
Absolutely.
Maybe something you and I can partner with. You know what I mean? But I have some ideas about that. But my 30 for 30 is going to be in a book form coming up.
Yeah, I finished one of the books I just finished was called Out of the Shadows and Into the Black, and basically it's a metaphor from being a young black boy growing up. I felt like I was in the shadows, or the feelings of in the shadows, and I never really dived into my complete form of being a black male, in this world until, in this transition. It was funny, into this transition, but so that's what the book was called, Out of the Shadows and Into the Black, because now I'm in the light. I am exactly who I was meant to be and supposed to be.
Yeah. Wow. So is that something you're working on, Tom?
No, I already pushed out. It's already published. You can get it on Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, great! I'm gonna definitely get that. And I love the title. That is an amazing title.
Thank you. All right, brother. Yeah. I'm going to cut off the Bridges Live, and we'll thank you for everyone for listening to Bridges Live. Please support my podcast. You can get it on iHearts and iTunes. You can always reach me at Dr. Paul at holisticscience.com or Dr. Paul W. Dyer at gmail.com. Please contact me. I thank all my sponsors and the people who listen throughout the world, and keep sharing it, keep loving, be safe, be informed, understand, and create an action. Thank you.